Welcome, greetings, brethren, sistren, heathens, degenerates, to yet again another episode of the Book of Darius. I am Brother Darius. Here this week, we're going to talk about the Murder Boys. I don't know if y'all been watching the news. You might think it's a hip-hop group I'm talking about that's moving on up the charts. Fantastic. You can't make this kind of story up. This group of boys starts with Al X Murder. He got a son named Buster Murder, another son named Paw Paw Murder. And if you figured it out by now, you know I'm talking about Alex Murdaugh. That's been the big story, and the story ain't going away no time soon, folks. So yeah, this man killed his wife and then blew his son Paw Paw's head clean off, and was rich. Rich as can believe. This is a story of generational wealth and how it goes wrong. And you look through the whole story, and it's only getting bigger and bigger and deeper and deeper. His son Paw Paw had killed a young lady in a boating accident. The son was drunk as a skunk and wasn't of age to even be drinking. They're finding out now a housekeeper died, fell down the steps. We all wonder how that happened. Don't nobody really have a clue. They found another young man dead in the street not far from the house. They think the older boy Buster might have had something to do with that. Buster dropped out of college. Dad tried to get him back into college, unsuccessfully, couldn't do it, to get him a law degree and consider and to continue the family history. Because apparently the murder boys have been running that part of South Carolina for quite some time, going back almost a century. Had to take down Granddaddy Murder's picture from the courthouse because he was a judge back in the day for the trial. So Alex Murdaugh was hooked on pills, straight up lying, stealing from his customers, stealing from the law firm, stealing from everybody he could. And we ask each other now, how can this happen? How can a rich Southern boy like Alex Murdaugh, with all this generational wealth, how can something like this happen? Isn't this what we always ask ourselves within the news and the world and what goes on? And I will go to the Bible, as always, folks, because that's what we're here to do. And I do thank y'all for tuning in. I want to thank the viewers that have come in. We got 18 subscribers now. I'm hoping for that to go on up, but I'm happy for the people who are viewing. I mean, it seems like we're averaging close to 45, 50 people on some of these videos, and that's more than I have expected. And I am humbled and grateful for you clicking on and giving me a viewing and a watch and a chance and an opportunity to talk to you, and hopefully inspire you to live your life differently. Whether you're a believer or not a believer, I do have to preface, because I realize not everybody watches every video that I put up here. So I do have to say to you, I know I come off real preachy sometimes. The Bible is what I believe in. I am a Christian. And so that's my foundation. That's where I come from. And I'm hoping that even if you're not a believer, you walk away from these videos somewhat entertained, for one. I do know that I'm a kind of a wackadoodle, but also with a little bit of wisdom and knowledge, or something that says, you know what? I might be able to take that one with me throughout my daily life. Maybe I'm not a believer. That's fine. But I got something out of this. And for you believers, I'm hoping to wake y'all up and give you something different than what you get from your daily Sunday teaching, and to revitalize some folks. So what we're going to look at today, 1 Peter chapter 5. That's 1 Peter chapter 5, verses 5 through 11. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility, for God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble. Let's talk about that word humility, folks. Now, I like to look through, as I've talked to you many times before, the King James 1611 is my preferred Bible. And the reason for that is because you can break down what certain words mean in Hebrew and what they mean in Koine Greek. So the Old Testament was written in Hebrew, New Testament, Koine Greek. So you can go back and look through those and see what the literal interpretation of what that word was when it was originally written. So humility, as we go to verse 5, when it says, be clothed with humility, humble opinion of oneself, a deep sense of one's moral littleness, modesty, humility, lowliness of mind. Now, does that sound like Alex Murdaugh when you saw him up on that stand? Or that family, for that fact? His little redhead child sitting out there under the jury, flipping the camera off at times. There's something wrong with that family. Ain't no humility. Ain't nobody being brought down. Then it says, for God resisteth the proud. Proud. What does that word mean in Koine Greek? Overweening estimate of one's means or merits, despising others, or even threatening them with contempt. Are you going to tell me that doesn't describe this man when he stood up there, sat up in there in that court with his fake crocodile tears, looking around? The man killed his wife and blew his son's head clean off his shoulders, brains splattered all over a dog pen. Shot him down literally like a dog. And this man sat up there with contempt, and he's thinking his merits. He's despising everyone in that room. I'm going to be able to get away with this. I'm going to change my story 3, 4, 5 times. I'm going to get away with this. Verse 6. Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Humble yourselves. What does the word humble mean? Not rising far from the ground. Don't get too far high. Stay close to the ground. And it says also, brought low with grief or depression. So you can humble yourself, keep yourself low to the ground, or you can become humbled. You will get humbled. You know who does the humbling? God. God will humble you. So you can either humble yourself, or you can be brought low with grief and depression. What I find interesting about that man is he shed all kinds of tears when he was up in the stand, but when he got sentenced, off to prison he goes, seemed quite happy. 2 weeks later now, we talk about he's already appealing. He will be brought low. All of us will be brought low. If we do not humble ourselves, we don't keep ourselves low to the ground, God will bring you back down to the ground for sure. And what's that mean right there when it says, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he, meaning God, may exalt you in due time. So God's going to exalt you if you humble yourself. That's his promise to you through his word. And what that means is he's going to lift up on high. So think about that. If you humble yourself, you keep yourself low to the ground. And if you can accomplish that, God will exalt you in due time, which means to raise you to the very summit of opulence. Prosperity raised to dignity, honor, and happiness. Now, mind you, when I say this, I'm not talking about the gospel of prosperity like a lot of pastors out there like to do. But it is saying spiritually and in your world, in your life. Like you may not be a rich person. You may never go be a rich person. But you can have peace and happiness and spirituality. That is more opulent than any mansion or beautiful car you could ever want to buy. I promise you that. So people ask, how could this happen? Well, his family ran this area for almost a century until this generation failed. It was this generation of murder boys that messed it all up. Now we're going to stop right here. You tune right back in. This will be continued on the next episode. Just followed right up. I'm going to do my best to do this 8-minute mark, right? That's what everybody wants, 8 minutes. So there we go. 8 minutes. Come right back. I'll be here. You be there. Amen. Amen. Amen.